What up, y'all? It's your boy, JD. We're back at it again, about to break down current MLB players who are Hall of Fame bound, not Hall of Fame bound, locks, borderline. We're going to run through the list, and some guys who they're going to be close but no cigar at the end of the day. Maybe an Adam Wainwright of the world, Andrew McCutchen. We'll throw some names out there. Let's dive right into that. Close but no cigar category. We dive right into it. JD from the Zone Sports. Let's get after it. Adam Wainwright. One of those guys, you look at his career, it's hard not to appreciate what Adam Wainwright's accomplished. Legend, but Hall of Fame worthy. This is where the list starts getting interesting. You got to really break it down. He's a three-time All-Star, one-time World Series winner, 198 career wins with a 3.46 ERA. He's a great pitcher, solid pitcher. Cardinals legend, Cardinals Hall of Famer, MLB Hall of Famer. Based off those numbers, I got to say not. Let's keep the list rolling. Jacob deGrom. New York media is going to want to put him in. Mets fans are going to want him in. As of right now, he retired tomorrow at 35 years old. He got a late start. He was a rookie at 26. It's tough to put deGrom in. Talent-wise, it's a Hall of Famer. But the resume, the legacy, 84 career wins, 57 career losses. It's a guy whose legacy is always going to be defined by injuries and what he ultimately wasn't, just because he never seemed to be able to stay healthy. Two-time Cy Young winner, dominant, when healthy, when available, but just not always available. If he's a Hall of Famer, Tim Lincecum's a Hall of Famer. It's simple as that. He's not on my list, but I've made this argument in the past. If deGrom sneaks in, Lincecum gets in. Okay, let's keep it moving. I mentioned McCutchen. Let's check his stats just real quick just to justify that. He's borderline. I will say that. MVP, five-time All-Star. Those are pretty solid numbers, but again, probably more of a guy you go. He's a Pirates Hall of Famer. For his generation, he'll be remembered as a legend, MVP caliber player. There was a time where he was a top-tier caliber guy. But ultimately, for the long run, it's hard to justify he's got a Hall of Fame resume. That being said, McCutchen is a guy who media loves him. Talented player who did play for a franchise who historically, look at Pittsburgh, not a very successful team. He helped bring that team to some success, had some big years, MVP. So he'll be in the conversation. But again, I think close but no cigar, ultimately. That's just my opinion. Nelson Cruz is the last guy in that close but no cigar category where, take away the PED accusations and all that, he probably gets in with 464 home runs, 7 All-Star appearances. But one of those guys, primarily a DH for a lot of his career, had some PED accusations. And based off some of the guys we've seen not get in due to that, it's hard to think Nelson Cruz is going to buck that trend to be a Hall of Famer. So if I had to guess, Nelson Cruz is probably going to be close, but no cigar. Chris Sale is one more guy I will mention because he's similar to deGrom, where you look at the raw talent, 7-time All-Star, he won a World Series. But overall, that all being said, probably more of a borderline guy. You probably go, all right, Chris Sale, great career, Hall of Fame career, he'll get a few votes. But 119 career wins, just wasn't able to stay healthy enough. Okay, let's keep it moving to the category that I'm going to say, if anybody's seen Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. So guys who, there's that chance, but they kind of need a late career surge or to maintain this consistency that they're currently having for a few more years, 5 more years, something like that. First up, Manny Machado, a guy who, talent-wise, Hall of Famer, has had a lot of good years. He's sitting at 300 career home runs. He's got 2 Gold Gloves. So you can make the argument 6 All-Star appearances for a third baseman. He's going to get some votes, and he's only 30 right now. So if Machado does this for another 5 years, hits maybe 20, 25 bombs a year, 5 more years, finishes with 400 home runs, a couple more Gold Gloves, a couple more All-Stars. I'm saying there's a chance for Manny Machado. He's got a shot at being a Hall of Famer, and you can't take that lightly. Let's move along to a guy who I've seen compared to Machado for having similar career stats, and that's Bryce Harper. Let's get into Bryce Harper. So he's got 289 career homers. He's got, let's see, how many All-Stars. I believe he has 2 MVPs. I could be wrong on that, though. Yeah, 2 MVPs, Rookie of the Year. Let's see, 7-time All-Star. He finishes with 12 All-Star appearances, comes close to another MVP, finishes with maybe 450 bombs. I mean, he's 30 right now, so it's going to be another guy where you have 5 to 7 more years of high-quality baseball. You could be a Hall of Fame type player getting votes, but today if Bryce Harper retired, it'd be hard for me to make the argument and say Harper as in right now. I'd say he's kind of an interesting case where he was kind of a prodigy. Everybody knew him from day one, kind of LeBron effect right off the bat, but I guess that doesn't really get you votes in the Hall of Fame. It's just he did accomplish what he set out to do as a kid. He was like a 16-year-old getting coverage from the media on the national level. Okay, next up, a guy who kind of an interesting career trajectory and a guy you want to look at and go, okay, how much do you value home runs versus, overall quality of career. He's got an MVP, Giancarlo Stanton. So 389 career homers. He's 33. He could finish with 500 home runs. That's a realistic possibility for Giancarlo. The question is, does he get it? Because I think with his career, he was a Yankee, MVP. He finishes with 550 bombs. He's gonna be one of those guys who say there's a good chance. That gets you in most of the time. Non-PED players, historically, you have 500 plus homers. It's hard to keep you out of the Hall of Fame. Yankee effect doesn't hurt, whether he's loved or hated by some Yankee fans for his inconsistency. That's a story for another time. So definitely got to think Giancarlo Stanton, he has a chance if he can rattle off another couple seasons and finish with 550 bombs, because he's close to 400 right now and he's 33. But injuries have been a big factor, so that's something to watch. Next up, another Yankee. Let's just keep the trend going. Similar to Stanton, started his career on a team who, not a traditional power, not a team you expect to contend at the time for the most part, but Garrett Cole. Went to Houston, had some major success. He's a 6-time All-Star. He's an ERA champ 1 time. I don't believe he has a Cy Young, which would probably help his case a little bit. But one thing going for Garrett Cole, we got to remember, because you could say it, you don't like it, you love it, whatever. The Yankee effect's real. And right now he's got 2,000 strikeouts. He's 32 years old, and he strikes out about 200 guys a year. He has 1 season with 326 strikeouts. He has a chance at 3,000 Ks, and another one where I go, historically, non-PED, non-controversy, you get 3,000 strikeouts, you're probably going to be a Hall of Fame conversation kind of guy. So there's definitely a chance for Garrett Cole, 32 years old. Again, where does it go from here? Right now he's 9-2, 2.78 ERA this year, 123 innings pitched with 134 Ks. So he's on pace for that. We'll see where he sits with wins when it's all said and done, but that seems to be a stat that, even though I do value wins, if you get 300 wins, 250 plus wins, can't take that lightly. But that being said, nowadays people don't seem to care as much. So hey, we'll see where Garrett Cole ends up, but he's got that Yankee effect, almost 3,000 Ks. Let's move on to the next category where I'm going Hall of Fame potential. So these are guys who they're younger, or maybe they haven't had a very long prime, but there is definitely a potential to have a Hall of Fame career based off what they've accomplished. So we're going to go first, Aaron Judge. Right off the bat, some people might go, Aaron Judge, he's not a lock. Well, he has 239 career homers. He's had a couple historic seasons. But I believe if you look at Roger Maris, he's not a Hall of Famer, and he's had kind of some of the best single seasons with power of all time. So, that's where I'm at with that. Roger Maris, let's pull up his career stats if I can find him here. I'm trying not to do too much Googling on the side to lose track. But Aaron Judge right now, he doesn't have 300. Yeah, Roger Maris, career home runs, 275, I believe. Aaron Judge, career home runs as of right now, 239. So, where does it go from here for Judge? He's 31 years old. He's not exactly in the prime of his life. He's 31. He's had some injuries. Well, that's still the prime. I'm not going to hate on the guy. But I'm 31 right now. Let's give some credit. 31's the prime. But you look at Maris, he had these big outlier power seasons. Judge has the MVP. He has 5 All-Stars. He's got a Rookie of the Year. So I'd say Aaron Judge, another guy where the talent's there, the potential's there, but how many more seasons does he stay healthy and rattle off 40-plus homers? Is it 5, 6 more? Because he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer then. Is it 2 more and then injuries kick in? It's a question mark, and the potential's there, but I wouldn't say he's a lock yet. Next up, let's go with the guy. He's very early in his career, so this is just one of those pure talent and potential guys. I'm going to go Vlad Jr. Dude's 24 years old, and when he puts it together, he's shown the potential to be a pure hitter, not only a power threat, but he's 24 right now, and he's got 118 career bombs. He's on pace for, a 450, 500 career home run type of career. I didn't say that very well, but Vlad Jr. is a guy, talent-wise, a lot of time to tell. But 10 years from now, you keep putting up 32 home runs a year, batting close to 300 and doing what he's doing, especially with the Guerrero name. He's a Hall of Fame type of talent. I'm just trying to highlight that the league's stacked right now. He's got a long ways to go, though. Next up, another guy with very long ways to go. And this is probably my biggest, I would almost say hot take, but when you break down the numbers, he's a 2-time All-Star. He was the ALCS MVP. He's won a World Series, Rookie of the Year. Yordan Alvarez is been a monster for Houston, whether you love Houston or not. He's 26 years old, 115 career bombs, but let's look at this season right here. 2022, 37 home runs, 97 RBIs, batted .306. You do that for long enough, you're a Hall of Fame caliber player. So he's young, entering his prime. We'll see where that goes. All right, so Yordan, no lock by any means, but on that trajectory, that the talent's there. Houston is a perennial contender. You do that for 5 more seasons, you're talking about a great career. You do that for 8 more seasons, you're talking about a Hall of Fame caliber career. And I know this is a hot take, but he kind of has a David Ortiz kind of presence at the plate, larger than life, kind of just a big dude who, when he squares up the baseball, goes a long way, intimidates pitchers, and he's proven he could do it in the postseason, which also goes a long way. Let's get to one more name on my Hall of Fame potential list, and then on part 2 of the Zone's MLB Hall of Fame locks right now, and just kind of Hall of Fame pyramid, as we're calling this, the Hall of Fame pyramid. Gotta love that. So part 2 will be coming up. This is our last name for today, Hall of Fame potential. We're going to finish up a few more guys on the Hall of Fame potential list next time. And then we'll get to the borderline Hall of Famers and the dudes who are locks right now. Okay, Juan Soto. He has Hall of Fame potential. This is kind of a duh moment, but you look, 2019 World Series winner, 3-time All-Star. He's won a batting title. The thing with Soto is you look at him pre- and post-trade, he's had his bumps in the road. You could say he's been a slightly different player since joining the Padres, but that might not be a fair assessment, right? He was unreal at such a young age with Washington. He's 24 years old right now. This season, he's got a .417 on base percentage, 17 home runs, and 54 RBIs. So Soto, I remember a while ago, there were some takes going around that says Soto is no doubt a Hall of Fame type of career. And I'd say he's on the trajectory, like I just mentioned. But again, you look at the career numbers. You got to do this for 7, 8, 9, 10 more years, and then we can really start having the combo. But yeah, 24 years old, 150 career home runs almost. He's kind of setting the tone as maybe the best plate discipline in the league, one of the best guys at racking up walks. He's led the league twice already in his career, and right now he's leading the league at this point. So in 2023, so he's on pace to do it again. So Juan Soto, an elite approach at the plate, elite hitter, another guy where only time will tell where he ends up. All right, next time we're going to get to some guys who we didn't mention today. Where does Ohtani end up? Is Trout a lock already? Who are the dudes who, there's no question. I mean, of course, Miguel Cabrera, you got to think is a lock. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw. Those dudes are locks. And we'll get to them and we'll break that down a little more. But who are those guys who we don't know if they're locks? Are they in? Are they out? Where do they go? Where do they end up on the Hall of Fame pyramid here? Where does Votto end up? Where does Freddie Freeman end up? Jose Altuve, anyone? Zach Greinke? We're going to get to all that on part 2. Thank you for checking it out. I'm J.D. Dugan from the Zone Sports. Always appreciate y'all checking out the content. Make sure to like and subscribe. And hey, baseball is great right now. No matter where you end up on this pyramid, it's a good sign that the game is loaded. So no disrespect to the dudes who are the close but no cigar category. Maybe I'm saying there's just a chance you're not a Hall of Fame lock. It's not a shot at any of these dudes' career because it just shows how deep the game is right now. It's a great time for the sport, and there's a ton of talent, and you got to love it. All right, I'll be back soon with part 2. Make sure to like and subscribe, y'all. Good time for baseball.